what it is about this election, if anything, that makes it particularly important for the United States going forward?
There's 4 or 5 things. One is it's a very close election. This may be, and it follows very close elections. So we have not had a clear mandate since Barack Obama's impressive 2008 and 2012 victories. So 2016 was very close, 2020 was very close. This may be even closer. That's one. Number 2, Donald Trump is a very controversial candidate, and he's the first president in the modern era that had no political experience. And there's an effort to stop him in ways that I think the left would acknowledge, have never been seen before. And that effort excites passions on both sides. I don't want to be generic or general, I want to be specific. So what I'm trying to suggest, we've never had a president impeached twice. He was impeached twice. We've never had a president who was tried as a private citizen. He was. We've never had a major presidential candidate where the opposing party tried to remove him from state ballots so that the voters would not have a chance. He was removed. There was an effort, I should say, to remove him from 16 state ballots, and that was overturned by the Supreme Court, or I should say aborted by the Supreme Court. We've never had a presidential candidate, much less an ex-president. Maybe an ex-president got near it, but we've never had an ex-president presidential candidate who has been the subject of 5 criminal and civil suits designed, I think you could say, to bankrupt him, and there were gag orders put on him, and the intention was to incarcerate him. Now, I know it's very controversial to say that all of these were independently arising and there was no coordination, but it's a fact that the Biden White House's DOJ third-ranking attorney resigned that prestigious position to go to what's otherwise a local matter, Alvin Bragg's municipal indictment, and took over that indictment. It's a fact that the special prosecutor that Fani Willis appointed in a state prosecution of Donald Trump met on 2 occasions with the Biden White House. It's a fact that Jack Smith had been meeting and counseled by the DOJ, and there's really not a special counsel statute anymore, it's expired. So he works directly for Merrick Garland. So there was a level of coordination that we hadn't seen. And then in addition to these irregular things, we've never had a presidential candidate who was targeted for assassination on 2 occasions. I think both sides would agree they've never seen such a collapse in Secret Service performance or security, and that's happened on 2 occasions. So I could go on, it's getting a little monotonous, but you can see that these are unusual events, and that when you factor that in with the closeness of the election and the spirit, there's a couple of other things very quickly that we've never seen in the modern era. We've never seen a presidential candidate who won all of the primaries, in this case Joe Biden, 14.5 million votes, removed from the ticket coercively. I mean, he was asked to resign, and from what we can tell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and other operatives suggested that if he didn't, there would be consequences. And their argument was he was not doing it very well in the polls and might cause a lot of damage down ticket as well as lose the election. But I think there was general consensus that cognitively he was not up to the level expected of a president, which was ironic because the argument then, whether inadvertent or not, was that he was not cognitively fit to be the standard bearer for the Democratic Party, but he was cognitively fit to serve out the next 5 months on his term. And in a way, we've nullified the vote of 14 million candidates. And then we didn't have an open convention. We haven't had that. We've never had a nominee of either party in the modern era who either did not win the delegates at the convention or has never entered a primary. It wasn't that Kamala Harris hasn't won a primary. She's never entered one. So the machinations necessary to remove one elected candidate in the primaries with a preponderance of the delegates and then put another candidate in his place, that was unusual. All of these things are a perfect storm. They're force multipliers of themselves. And it's got the country divided right in half.